What you say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do
Of
well.
course you did. What you say?
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best podcast.
What you say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
Just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I
What
thought we
you
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to What You Say, an OC podcast. My name is Elyse Daly,
And I'm Scott Daly.
and together
We're the Dailies. Yes, this is the podcast where each and every week my wife Elyse and I go through the hit 2000s teen drama The OC, episode by episode. This week on the show we are covering season 2, episode 11. I think that puts us exactly halfway through season 2 already.
I think there's a little more than 22.
Damn it. Well, we're covering season 2,
think.
episode 11, The Second Chance. The Second Chance. Every time I hear the phrase The Second Chance, I think about Homeward Bound.
Were you ever given a second chance for something that was important?
Probably. I don't remember. I've gotten many chances. Chance-I?
No.
But I just keep fucking up. That's the
I'm
whole
trying
thing.
to see how many episodes are in season 2.
Oh. It doesn't really matter.
It does to me. You know, I like to get things right. And
You're just taking a lot. There's just a lot of dead air happening
I
right now.
accidentally typed the ox
The
instead
Ox?
of the OC.
How many episodes of The Ox
So
are there in
then,
season 2?
You know, I've already gotten rid of it. I don't know.
Well, as
But
you're
if
looking
we're-
that up.
I'm going here.
Okay.
Yes. See, I was right. I mean, it was really in my favor because you said halfway through, meaning there was 22, and I just said I think there's more. So as long as there were more than 22,
So there's 23 episodes.
there's 24.
Okay, we're not quite halfway through the season yet. What a great start to the
Next
show.
week we'll be halfway
What a
through.
great start to the show. Probably our best intro yet, I think. How do you feel about that?
I think you hit the nail on the head.
Hey, Elyse, why don't we move on to the next segment of the show?
Oh yeah, that section, that Rosies and Thornies section, Scott. That good, that bad, where we look back on the week and we figure out our highs and our lows. And as always, Scott, we're going to start where we were at our lows. So Scott, what was your low point this week?
Well, for those of you, if you'll remember our conversation last week where I said the low of my week was having to do an FTP test for my Peloton bike riding, and Elyse lectured me about how strength training is just as important as cardio and you should really do
It's
strength
true.
training. Well, to be a healthy person, to be a good husband, and to be a good person, I decided to do some strength training this past week. And folks, it's hurt. Ow.
Because it's changing your body. It's good.
Ow. So we did yesterday we did like a full body 30-minute strength workout. Ugh. And it was a full body workout because my full body is sore.
I mean, I work out fairly consistently, like not every day, but 5 or 6 days of the week.
Uh-huh.
And there's some parts in there that was hard. They're hard for me.
It was hard.
That bear plank row.
Oh my god, fuck that
Yeah,
noise.
I did not do that. I just stayed with my shins resting in a bear plank.
A bear plank is like a normal plank, except
No,
you
it's not
feel
a
like
normal plank.
you're being eaten by a bear.
It's not.
What?
It's where you're on all fours, your knees are underneath your hips, and then you hover your shins off the ground. That's a bear plank.
Uh-huh.
And then what they did was they had you row each of your arms at separate times, and then when you set it down slightly in front, and then you rode the other arm slightly in front, and then you had to step both legs. And then after you went forward 2 times, you had to go backward 2 times.
It was mean. Is what
I
it
did
was.
one set, and I was like, I'm just gonna
was mean.
focus on the arms.
For some reason, like I can deal with like chest and ab and arm soreness. When my legs get sore, that's shit I can't
When
deal
your
with.
legs get sore, everyone knows your legs get sore.
You know what, Elyse? I don't need this kind of judgment from
It's
you.
true.
Okay?
Really, Anytime you're sore, everyone knows you're sore.
Not everyone.
Your arms last
Not
time.
everyone. You. I let you know because I want you to take
Well,
care
right
of
now,
me.
I'm your everyone because you don't see anyone else.
Baby, you're always my everyone.
Sure.
Because I love you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I
so
appreciate
that's
that.
my thorn. I fully recognize that this is good for me, and the hurt is good, but man, I stood up this morning and I couldn't walk very well at all.
See, you know what you also didn't do that you should have done yesterday when you were done?
Stretching?
Yeah.
I say this in quotes because it doesn't. I feel like stretching is a thing that's just made up. I don't think it's real.
The smarter you let your body recover, the quicker you'll be able to get back into what you want to next time.
Okay, well, after I finish working out, then I will certainly listen to some classical music and read a very difficult book on astrophysics, so my body will recover very smartly.
That was not funny.
You just. Why don't you tell me what your thorn is, little Miss Perfect?
I don't have one because I'm perfect.
Yeah, apparently. It's like, whatever, my life is awesome and nothing ever goes, and I don't feel sore, and I recover smart, and I drink all my waters.
I don't drink enough water.
And I just...
I need to drink more water.
Life is just perfect. Great.
Right now. It's pretty good.
I'm very happy for you, Elyse.
Thanks, babe. I appreciate that.
Elyse's continued thorn is my unemployment, and she just doesn't want to say that because she's being nice.
That would be a good thorn.
That's Elyse's thorn, is that I don't have a job right now, but we're working on it. Hey, Elyse, why don't we move over to the positive things, and why don't you tell me what your rose of this week is?
Oh, yes. So a friend of mine, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, I can't remember. She texted me about this show, and she asked if I'd watched Yellowstone before. And I said no. And she was telling me how great it was. And so I looked at the trailer and I watched it and I was like, whoa, this looks good. This looks like something I would like. And I thought I would, include Scott and see if he wanted to be in on the action too. So I showed him the trailer and he was taken. And so we started watching Yellowstone and man, that's a good show. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
That's it.
What's his name again? Is it Taylor or Tyler Sheridan?
Taylor.
Taylor Sheridan. Sicario, Hell or High Water, Wind River.
Yeah.
Dude can
I liked
write.
Wind River.
He writes these kind of like modern day Western tales. And this is very much that. And it's really, really good. It's really good. I didn't know about it. It's been on because it's been on Paramount Network for 2.5 years. Whatever the frick that is.
Yeah. It used to be Spike.
No.
You remember Spike TV?
Like TV for men, Spike TV?
Yeah, it changed to Paramount.
That doesn't sound real.
It's true. It's true. Look it up.
So they just said men don't need TV anymore?
They just decided to market it as something different. That way other people would watch it.
Huh. But isn't it like Paramount as in like the like the mountain?
Uh-huh.
Like the film company?
Yeah. Look at that. I knew something you didn't know about TV.
Interesting. Spike TV. I mean, I will say this is definitely a men-oriented show. You obviously like it, but I think this is like a very much a country men's show.
This is like, what was I gonna say? I feel like it's Succession meets Dallas.
Sure.
In the best ways.
Sure. You watched Dallas?
No, but I know about Dallas. And I'm from Dallas.
So that's fun fact. When you're from Dallas, you don't actually have to watch the show. You just know what it's about. You
live
just know.
Dallas.
Cool. Yeah. Yellowstone. It is on.
Do you agree with that though?
What?
Succession meets Dallas.
I mean, I don't know a lot about Dallas besides like the pop culture references from it. So I don't really know what kind of show Dallas was, except that it was a show that made everyone think that everyone in Texas wore cowboy hats and owned a horse, which obviously not true. But
we're getting our horse next week. What do you mean?
Yeah,
we are. It's going out in the backyard.
You better send that back.
No.
Can't get no... I learned the other day that a pony and a horse are two different things.
Yeah, you learned that a while ago and you were very surprised.
It's very upsetting. I just thought a pony was a baby horse.
No.
Weird.
We don't call it my little horsey, my little horsey. No,
Yeah.
it's ponies because ponies don't grow into horses.
Well, because they're little. Like, I thought they were just young horses.
No, it's a foal.
I get that now. Thank you, Elyse.
You're welcome.
You're just perfect today.
I got
You
a
just
wealth of
know
knowledge.
everything.
Yep. No bad things this week. I knew about Spike TV. I knew about ponies. I just know all the cool things or the useless things, however you want to view it. Scott, what's your rose?
My rose is a book I've been reading. So for those of you that don't know, or maybe, I don't know, we're doing a podcast called Kingslingers where Matt and I are going through Stephen King's Dark Tower series.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. I talk about it all the time. But we are rounding the final turn towards the finish line of the biggest book in the series called Wizard and Glass.
I didn't know that.
We've been on this book for... this week will be episode 10, and we've got 12 total episodes. And it just so happens this week we are covering my favorite part of the book. It's my favorite part of a book that is my favorite book in the series, and so I've just really been loving it. I stayed up late last night to finish all my prep work for the episode that we're recording tomorrow, and it was just one of the most enjoyable prep sessions I've ever had. Like, I took way too much. I copied, pasted so many lines from the book because...
So what you're saying is Matt's mad today.
Yeah, he's probably not happy with me because, like, the script was 11 pages long before he even got to it. So it's going to be real long. But
And how long are they normally?
15 pages total. So, yeah.
So basically, you're going to have a 4-hour long show.
No. I'm telling you, we've got this down to a science. The show will be 2 hours and 24 minutes. You heard it here first. That's what's going to happen.
I'll take the over on that one.
Okay, we'll see.
And you can't just edit it down so that it's...
I never do. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't ruin the sanctity of my podcast
To win a bet.
To win a stupid nonsense bet with you. Anyway,
Okay.
It's just I love the book. I've loved talking about the book, and I've grown to love the book even more. And getting to this final part, this devastating, heartbreaking final part of this book, has been great. And
good.
I love Mr. King. It's great. He's a great author. Who knew? So that's my rose.
Okay.
Both of our roses were media that we've enjoyed
They were.
today. We like
true.
stories and storytelling. And speaking
We
of
do.
stories and storytelling, let's move in to this TV show we're going to talk about. Let's talk about the OC.
All right, let's
Elyse,
do that. We're
tell me
going to
about this
talk
episode.
about The Second Chance, which is the 11th episode of season 2 of the OC. Not quite halfway there, but just about. It was written by Druzy Greenberg and Josh Schwartz, directed by Tony Wamby, who previously directed this season's Chrismukkah episode. It aired on February 3rd, 2005. Scott, give me that sweet, sweet summary.
All right, so in this episode, Seth, Summer, and Zach continue Operation Comic Book, even as Summer and Seth find their old flames ignited over superpowers and leather. Meanwhile, Marissa and Alex continue to grow closer. Ryan continues to attempt to reconcile Lindsay and her father, which results in a literal heart attack. Maybe he should just stop. Also, Sandy decides to lie to his wife about Rebecca's whole being alive deal, and this will surely not blow up in his... Oh, it did. It did. His wife found out at the end of the episode. Oops.
Can't win them all, Scott.
Elyse,
Can't win them all.
what'd you think about this episode?
This is just like you're climbing up the mountain. Everything was introduced, and it's just a little slow trek up there. And you're really wishing there was a nice place where you could have a little pit stop because it's getting really boring being by yourself, seeing the same thing every day. You just want something new to happen.
Yeah, I mean, remember last week when we talked about I hope that they break these plot lines out and not just incrementally move them all forward in this episode?
I do, Scott.
They did that. They just incrementally moved every single one of these plots forward in this episode.
And how boring was that?
But they made some strides. I have some very good things to say about this episode. Even my thorn of the episode this week is fairly positive about about like the thing. I didn't like it as a character moment, but I liked it as a story moment. You know, like it made me unhappy, but I like where the show is going with it.
But it made you feel something, so you were happy about that.
So, I mean, while I agree with you, I thought it was a decent episode. Not my favorite, but not the worst.
Let's hope that we can get a little bit further on our hike next week, Scott. Let's hope we can just.
Let's hope we take a.
Almost to that summit.
All right, Elyse, you want to jump into our roses and our thornies?
Yeah. So my thorn of this episode is actually it's Caleb's heart attack.
Oh.
So let me tell you about this first of all.
Okay,
so after last week's epic failure of a dinner between Ryan and Lindsay, Ryan tells Kirsten about it, and Kirsten's upset. And so Kirsten decides she's going to have a do-over for dinner. She invites everyone over. They're supposed to have a great time. It ends up Caleb puts forth part of an effort to have a conversation with Lindsay, but then when Lindsay tries to invite Ryan to do something, it turns into Caleb nitpicking Ryan, and then Ryan and Caleb get into it, and all of a sudden Caleb is just really heated in the moment and then just has a heart attack and falls over.
Oof. Yeah.
And so the reason this is my thorn is because this is just one more reason to then go back and forth with this Lindsay and Ryan thing.
It is.
And it's like, we already know that there's a wedge that's being driven in between them because of Caleb. He doesn't need to have this near-death experience because honestly, if Caleb had just done anything remotely that made Lindsay feel as though she was being accepted by him and said he didn't like Ryan, this would be fine. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it seems to be something that they went for the really big hitter in order to try and make people excited and be like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen?
It's very melodramatic,
but end up with the same result that they would have had if they had just continued to have dinner and then Ryan got upset and left, and then, and then it just goes back to the whole, well, now I need to have a relationship with my dad because he had a heart attack and I was in the room and he told me he really wants to get to know me.
But you around that would make that not work as well.
And if she really wants to have a relationship with her daughter or with her dad, which is completely understandable, especially since she hasn't had a father figure and wanted a father figure for the longest time, it's just an all-around frustrating situation. And I like Caleb. He's fun. I don't want anything bad to happen to Caleb.
Well, I mean, here's my problem with it. I felt like the heart attack to inspire change routine was not believable for me. I loved the scene where Caleb has the heart attack. You know how I love when characters are yelling at each other, and the conflict between Ryan and Caleb when they're going at each other.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's good TV.
Ryan, stay.
Yes, Ryan, stay. As long as you like. Living in this house, eating our food, dating our children, butting into our affairs.
You are so out of line.
What? I've forgiven him for burning down my model home, for teaching my grandson how to steal cars after starting a brawl at my Man of the Year party. And everyone seems to have forgotten that he impregnated a girl.
Something you might know a thing or two about, except I didn't pay her off to stay quiet.
What did you say to me?
I'm just telling you the truth. And you can try and hide from Lindsay, make this all about me.
I've had just about enough out of you.
That's too bad, because I'm just getting started.
Ryan.
Let me tell you something. If you come here for a fight...
Dad. Ryan, don't.
Oh!
When he brought up the whole impregnating a girl, and he was like, oh yeah, well, I did it, and at least I'm not trying to pay off the mom.
Ooh,
I mean,
it's good TV.
There's some good parallels that happen between.
It's damn good TV.
You'll have to insert that in there.
I will. And I'm not even saying that the heart attack being the catalyst for change is a wholly unbelievable thing. You know, a near-death experience can cause a lot of change in people. Mm-hmm. I think the way the show did it, which is like the next scene we see Caleb in, he's sitting in a hospital bed and he's suddenly like...
I owe you both a huge apology. Just a shame it took a coronary for me to realize how terrible I've been, and I've been terrible.
Dad, it's okay.
It's not okay, but now that I've got a second chance, well, I'd like a second chance.
Oh, actually, let me take my hand, daughters. I realized how scummy I was being. It was too quick. It was too
where's
forced.
Marissa?
Yeah. Where's Marissa?
And Haley.
Marissa doesn't give a shit. Where's his wife?
Julie doesn't
She's still
care.
off in Paris.
Julie doesn't care. Come on.
Yeah, look, I don't know.
Anyways, that's just it's my qualm. Anything to do with Lindsay and Ryan. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
But
the end of the episode has Lindsay and Ryan calling it quits.
Yeah.
For real this time? I love how even the show acknowledged that they're like on again, off again stuff is ridiculous. Like, oh, we're taking a break again. Maybe it's for realsies this time.
Maybe we'll see.
I don't know. But that is the Caleb heart attack, your thorn of the week.
Yeah. What's yours?
My thorn of the week is Sandy Cohen lying to his wife.
Yeah, he does do that.
At the end of last week's episode, it was revealed that Rebecca, Sandy's former love, who we thought was dead, is actually still alive. And throughout the course of this episode, Sandy makes about 7,000 individual decisions to not tell his wife that she's still alive. And he does it in really kind of shady ways, because he says stuff to the effect of like,
what if I told you he wants me to clear Rebecca's name? Prove she was innocent.
I would think that would be wonderful.
You would?
The man's daughter died, and if you can't bring his daughter back, at least you can clear her name.
I knew you'd understand.
And so he gives himself implicit authority to continue doing what he's doing while also withholding the full scope of what he's doing. And he is aware that this will make her upset because that's why he's not telling her about it. And it's just really infuriating. Like I said, as a plot point, I love it. As a person watching the show, I'm just like, oh, Sandy, you fucking idiot.
It's also because in this show, the heart of the show is really Sandy and Kirsten, because it's their family that really has everything revolve around it. It's like the Friday Night Lights, where you really care about Coach Taylor and his wife almost, if not more than all of the players, even though it's a teen show and like a teen drama. And so you get mad at Sandy because you're just so invested.
Yeah.
And maybe if I was younger, I'd be like, no, but I've always really liked Sandy and Kirsten, so maybe not.
I am very interested to see what the fallback of this choice of Sandy's is, because of course, as we stated, the episode ends with Kirsten, dropping by his office on the way home from work just to spruce it up. And who does he find living in her office but Rebecca? And the
we
show
didn't
ends.
plan that, guys.
We didn't. The show ends once again with someone discovering Rebecca is still alive. This time it's Kirsten, not Sandy. And
who's going to have it happen to them next week?
I don't know. I don't know. Jimmy's going to come back and see Rebecca. Jimmy doesn't know Rebecca.
I was going to say, does Jimmy know Rebecca?
Yeah, it's so rough because you see where it's going, right? Like, there's actually, the show takes this long build up to get to the point where Kirsten finds out about it, where she's like,
they're kind of like me. You know how I bury my lead all the time? Uh-huh. Maybe that's why I like the show so much.
She says to him, like, I think your office needs some sprucing up. And I was like, oh no. And then she calls Seth and says, I'm going to stop by your dad's office on the way home just to deliver some stuff. And he's like, okay. And then Seth meets with his dad and is like, what's mom call? Who was that on the phone? Oh, it was mom. What would she want? She's just saying she's going to be home in a few minutes. I'm like, oh no. Oh, the paths did not
the
cross.
writing on the wall.
And yeah, you just see it. And of course, immediately it happens. She walks in and then just like, you just imagine you walk into your husband. Imagine you walk into my office and you're laying stuff down and you hear a woman's voice go, Scott? Ugh. And then you realize it's my first love named Rebecca, because I too have a first love named Rebecca who blew up a nuclear power plant. I don't know if you knew that about me.
I didn't, but she didn't really blow up the plant, babe.
Well,
remember?
She doesn't matter. According to the law, she did. And that's why it never worked out between the two of us.
Okay.
So yeah, that is my thorn. Even though I did like it, it's a weird thorn. I acknowledge this. I liked it, and I liked it as a person enjoying the show. I did not like it as a person having to watch the show because it twisted my tummy up all in knots. I don't like when my Captain America Sandy is a bad boy, and he is being a bad boy.
Some
Bad boy.
women like bad boys.
No, not that kind of bad boy.
Well, Rebecca likes him. Scott, we're going to move on to my rose. Because my rose, I know was your rose, but you couldn't put it down because I told you every time that we have anything in the episode that talks about the comic book, I called dibs. And this week, Scott, I called dibs on the comic book is going to be official, and Zach's friend wants to have a meeting with them to discuss the comic book.
Not Zach's friend, like someone in the publishing industry.
Like, his friend got it for him.
Sure, yeah.
And so it just means that the threesome of Zach and Seth and Summer are continuing to have this weird, awkward dynamic because there's tension between Seth and Summer. And Zach is just the little puppy oblivious to it all and just excited about the comic book.
I'm just saying, high stress, late nights, close quarters. I hope it doesn't, but I don't know. It could get weird.
You think?
Well,
Hey guys, I got great news.
Hey.
My dad has an intern whose uncle works at Wildstorm.
Really?
What's Wildstorm?
Unbelievable comic book company. I pitched them the shape of the idea.
Well, Zach, we don't really have an idea
They
yet.
love the world of Orange County, man. They think it could be really hot right now. They said if they like the artwork, they might want to set up a meeting.
All right.
So get ready, man. Late nights, high stress, close quarters.
And he's just thrusting them together.
Thrusting. Good word usage.
You're welcome.
They're just being thrust together. Oh my God. Elyse.
But you love it.
So here's what okay, let me be critical and then use that criticism to get around to something that I love.
Fine.
I think the comic book stuff is moving very quickly in a way that is just absurd and unbelievable to me. Like I'm
they're from the OC.
I'm remembering all the projects I started with my high school friends and like just imagining that like a week later we would be driving to
it's all about who you know,
meeting.
Scott. All about
yes,
who you know.
Of course. But I just don't think any comic book publishing company would be interested in. Here's the thing about the comic book. As much as I said last week that I would love to watch the reboot of this version of the show, I actually kind of think the comic book is a dumb idea. I think like everything we've seen of it, like Marissa's superpowered flask, because she's making alcoholism into a joke, which is yikes. But I love it because I love what it's doing. I love how it's getting Seth and Summer together. And first of all, remember when Ryan was involved in the comic book? That's over now. There's just no more Ryan.
Ryan knows nothing of comics.
Summer, neither does Summer.
Summer is the living embodiment of a comic book character.
So yeah.
Much like myself.
So
what would my superpower be if you had to pick one for me?
Your superpower?
If you had to write me in the comic,
if I had to write you in the comic, your superpower would be the superpowered ability to shift conversation subject at will anywhere you want without any connecting threads.
So why would that be useful?
You very good at distracting people and frustrating them to the point where like say some guy's robbing a bank and you start talking to the guy and then suddenly like you're like you transition to a whole different thing and then like 30 minutes later he's just like, I can't take this anymore, I give up. He puts down the gun. Hero. There you go.
Interesting.
What would mine be?
I'm gonna make it be with your beard.
My beard?
Yeah. I'm going to say your beard, like, all of a sudden the hairs get super long and then they can, like, go everywhere and act like hands.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super beard. That's what your name is.
Wow. Okay.
Or maybe your head, your bald head, reflects and shines light on things. Do you like that better?
No.
Oh. I don't know what you want then.
Okay, so that's my superhero power. My super beard, and yours is what is the word I'm thinking of for yours? I'm blanking on the word. I hate when this happens. There's a word to describe exactly what your power is, and I cannot think of it right now.
Other than just being a distraction?
Yeah. Distraction woman.
No.
Distracto girl.
Distracto girl?
Yeah. It's better than beard dude.
Super beard.
Super beard dude.
Don't put the dude at the end. That makes it sound lame.
It is
super
lame.
beard.
It's lame.
No, it's not.
Anyway, the thing I love about this, Elyse,
What?
is that it's putting Seth and Summer in contact. And one of the things, my favorite thing that this episode does is every time Seth and Summer are like coming to an understanding about how they should not be hanging out anymore, who jumps in the middle of the conversation and tells them they're going to have to hang out more? But poor, unaware Zach, where he just busts into the conversation so excited about the future of the comic.
Here's the thing. I just think that the best way for us to maintain a professional relationship
Is to spend as little time together as possible?
Yes, exactly.
Good.
It's perfect.
Who's ready for a road trip?
What?
When they were both like, yeah, we should probably avoid being alone together in a room. And then Zach busts in and says, oh, you've got a model for him tonight alone in your room.
No, correction. He says, you need to nail Summer.
Oh, and Cohen, you gotta nail Summer.
What?
Excuse me?
To which they both get deer in the headlights eyes.
Mm-hmm. And they almost kiss. They almost kiss in this episode. They do a nose rub, as she describes it later.
Grace.
Little nose, whatever. Miss Perfect. That's your super, Miss Perfect.
Thank you. It's my halo.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, they're basically on the path to getting back together from this comic, and poor Zach is just so excited about the potential of the comic book that he just doesn't see it.
You know, I don't think he would have seen it had it not been his excitement from the comic book. Or maybe he would have, because he was seeing it at first.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is he's been seeing it for a long time. Like, this has been a recurring thing of Zach's nervousness about that relationship, and he's finally got into a place where he's comfortable with it, and now is the one time where he should be worried, and he's not. Poor Zach.
Oh, well, what's your rose?
My rose, Elyse, is, to my great surprise, the budding relationship between Marissa and Seth's former girlfriend, Alex. We talked last week, and I told you this was dumb, and I hated it, and they were doing like a very stereotypically traditional, like, she's gonna do the bad girl thing while experimenting with being with a woman. And I thought that was just a terrible way to depict this kind of relationship. And then this episode came in, and in my view, almost entirely redeemed what they are doing, because it made it clear. And let me just say before I say this that I fully reserve the right to take all of this good things I'm about to say about the show back if it goes somewhere else.
You're putting it on
in the
record,
future.
Scott.
Yeah, but I can take it back. I will take it back if it veers a different direction. But for right now, the Marissa Alex plotline in this episode is about two people unsure of how they feel about each other, deciding to maybe take a chance on it, and it's treating it seriously. Marissa is unsure, she's uncertain, she's never had these feelings for a woman before, and she doesn't know what they mean, and she's kind of hesitating about it because she doesn't know what that means.
Sometimes you can just have like a moment with someone, you know, when you're doing something totally random and it's just like charged or something.
But she chooses to take a chance on it, and I don't know, like, I really thought this was just going to be bad girl Marissa doing this as a form of rebellion. And this episode changed my mind about this, because on the other half, Alex had her closure with Seth. Like, Alex goes over to Seth's house, returns a picture to him and says, you know, maybe what we were just people that helped us transition to the new thing. For Seth, it's transitioning back to Summer. For her, it's getting over her ex-girlfriend and possibly moving on to a new girlfriend. And I think that's beautiful. And I like this moment of respect and understanding between Seth and Alex. I really appreciated. I just really liked what they were doing with Marissa and Alice kind of trying to define their relationship. Like, what is this? What does this mean? What are we doing?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What are you doing with me?
Picking up a pint of Cherry Garcia and renting some DVDs?
I mean, sleeping over, hanging out all the time, borrowing my clothes. Things that never happened with Seth and I was dating him.
Oh, Seth's not really your size.
No, but he was, however briefly, my boyfriend.
Maybe you're right. I should probably sleep at home anyway. I'm out of fresh clothes as it is.
Marissa freaks out at first because this is new to her and she's scared about it, but she comes around to it thanks to advice from Summer, who doesn't quite realize the advice that she's giving at the time because Marissa's still hiding these feelings. But I don't know. I think there's a version of this that looks way, way worse than it does. And again,
That's true.
It is very possible that next week it will veer right back into exactly what I thought this was going to be. And I will just have to be like, oh, I regret being positive about this. But for now, in this episode, I thought the relationship, the budding relationship between Marissa and Alex was my second favorite thing outside of seeing Summer and Seth kind of reconnect. It felt real. It felt natural. I felt the sexual tension there. I felt the passion between these two characters. I think both of the actresses did a very good job of like the looks of confusion and concern and doubt, but obvious attraction, more so than Marissa and Ryan have ever had. So man, I'm in on it. I'm totally in on it.
That's because Olivia Wilde is actually a really good actress.
She is. She's a very good actress.
And I guess she can pull that out of whoever she's working with.
Mm-hmm. My plan is still, though, that Marissa's going to hurt this girl. That's my fear. That's my fear right now, that Marissa is going to hurt this girl. I do think that's going to happen. And I will be very bummed out if that happens. But like the thing of doing this episode by episode, Elyse, is that we get snapshots. And in this snapshot in time, this is my favorite thing about the episode.
Okay. Well, that's good. We have this on record, so we know when to go back and play it over and be like, hey, Scott, remember when you thought this?
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
You know I'll do that to you.
Anything else you wanted to talk about before we move on to style?
Scott, Lindsay plays the oboe.
Oh my God. That's the most classic fucking Lindsay. No shade.
I thought she played the clarinet.
No shade to anyone out there that plays the oboe. No shade. But when the scene starts and Lindsay is jamming out on her oboe, I was like, this is the most fucking Lindsay thing in the world.
Yeah. It's just Lindsay. Hey, Ryan's into it. Caleb's into it.
I think the worst line of dialogue in this whole thing is she tells her father she plays the oboe, and he's like, huh, can you play any Brahms? It's just like, come on. Don't be ridiculous.
Yes, she can. She's
of course she can.
Wonderful
she loves Brahms.
oboist.
The two of you are
Is that
exactly
what it's called?
Oboist,
Not obese.
OBGYN.
Obeist. That's a doctor.
What else is there? Oh, I think one of the most devastating shots, I should have talked about this during my thorn, but one of the most devastating shots in the show to me is Sandy has snuck home after spending out all night, which I don't know why he's sneaking home because he shares a bed with his wife, so she's gonna know he wasn't there, so I don't know what's the point of the sneaking. She obviously sees him and says, oh, you were out all night, obviously. Because
if he could pretend that he's asleep and gets in bed fast enough, then she won't talk to him.
I guess that's true. So she,
that's what I do.
And he's just like, yeah, I was working. So I was late at night working, and she's very understanding and sweet to him. Mm-hmm. And Rebecca calls him on the cell phone. And while he is on the cell phone talking with Rebecca, Kirsten is behind him, like giving him a from behind hug and like rubbing his shoulders and being so sweet and lovely to him. And it's just a really brilliantly composed shot because it really emphasizes the cruelty of the deceit, because they really skidded hard into Kirsten as being a wonderfully attentive and understanding wife in this episode to really twist the knife of Sandy as being a shit. And I thought that was very effective. It did exactly what it wanted to do on me because it made me mad.
Well,
so
good.
Bravo, show. Bravo.
Brava.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about was the Star Wars references that the show does very clumsily.
Yeah. Well, it's because they had Ryan use them. They had Ryan do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
what was the line? Well, we'll play it, but it's something to the effect of like Luke Skywalker found out that his dad was Darth Vader and he still wanted to have a relationship. And then Lindsay, when he tells that to Lindsay, she's immediately like, yeah, he died. And before he died, he chopped his son's hand off. Like, oh yeah, good point.
And then Kirsten's like, you told her the Star Wars thing, right? And then Ryan says that Lindsay brought up a good point because Ryan and Kirsten trying to come up with a Star Wars reference.
It's a disaster. Leave it to Seth. Leave the Star Wars
and
stuff
Sandy,
to Seth. Yeah.
gosh.
Jesus. All right, that is it for the episode. Let's move on to some style.
Come on, Scott. Tell me about the style in the OC. Hey, hey, hey. Come on, Scott. Tell me about the style in the OC, especially that leather.
First thing I want to say before we move on to that leather is Marissa, like we predicted last week, Marissa has gone full CBGB in that she's starting to dress more rocker chick.
And if you recall, Scott.
What?
That was how we knew Alex was a rocker chick with that CBGB shirt.
But Marissa can't just wear a CBGB shirt. No. That's not good enough for our girl Marissa. She's got to take a scarf and wear a scarf over it.
One of those skinny scarves.
One of those skinny, long scarves over the CBGB. Now, I will say that it's not like Marissa went out. When I was predicting this, I was predicting that Marissa would like go out and buy a bunch of rocker chick, clothing. Because
she does you one better.
She borrows it. She borrows it from Alex. After just like taking off her shirt in front of Alex, and Alex is like...
Why do they never wear bras in these shows?
I don't know. That's a good question. Because it's sexier. Ooh, sexy. I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Itty bitty titty. What?
I'm just not used to hearing that phrase come out of your mouth.
It's the itty bitty titty committee. Marissa's president.
Yeah, Marissa, I mean, she can get away with it, right? So she does.
I guess so, unless she's cold.
Yeah. But of course, the main event of this week's fashion section is Summer's superhero outfit. Elyse, would you please explain the superhero outfit for our listeners?
I think it's always better when you explain it.
So it's leather. Or I don't know if it's real leather. It's pleather. She is wearing a short black pleather skirt with a I don't know what to describe these tops as. It looks corsety. It's like a corset.
I would have said
top.
that. Yeah.
So it's a black leather corset with the stomach area is pink. She's got a collar on, like a dog collar with different charms on it. One of which is a shoe. The other is I can't tell what they are. And she's got pink fishnets and knee-highs boots. It's pretty hot. Here's my question about this. She says that this was her choice, right? That this is not the costume he made for her, but that she made for herself. Do you buy that? Do you buy that this would be something that someone would choose to wear and not have a dude dress them in? I don't know. Maybe
I do.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
It looks very like this is how a dude would design a comic book character. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, she might have worn shorts instead of a skirt, but you definitely have something tighter that you could move around in. If you have an excuse to wear fishnets, wear fishnets.
She's rocking the fishnet. She also has a bracelet on.
Yeah.
A leather, pleather pink bracelet.
Corsets aren't always the most comfortable, but
no, that doesn't seem like it'd be very comfortable at all.
You need something to hold her sisters in place.
Yeah. Not part of the committee.
Not part of the committee. Nope.
This is like the second time in the show that Summer has removed a bathrobe and made Seth speechless. Remember the Wonder Woman outfit?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I think the show doesn't say this outright, but I feel like she knows what she's doing here.
Oh, she definitely does.
Like, he is, like, speechless because of this outfit. And she's like, she's playing it off as innocent, but come on. Come on,
She
Summer.
knows what she's doing.
She knows. She knows.
What's she going to do with the outfit afterwards? Halloween, maybe?
Well, we will see. I mean, she's going to have to go to Comic-Con, right? Because this comic is going to become the next big thing. And she's going to have to make appearances in her costume.
Could be. Could be, Scotty. We'll see. Nothing else, though, for style?
Nothing else for style. Everything else was pretty standard this week. The dudes... Seth... I think they made Seth's clothes baggier than normal. I don't know why they did that. I did not see any more cargo pants, although we got some pushback last week about our cargo pant opinions. Apparently, like, storage is all that matters.
Storage is not all that matters.
In which case, cargo pants are the best pants, objectively, because the storage. So
I think what we should do is go into the stores and see how many stores sell cargo pants at the mall.
Right now?
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see very many.
Exactly.
So that's it for fashion. We'll keep an eye out for cargo pants going forward.
Okay.
I think, who was it? I think it was Caleb that was wearing a very nice suit this week.
Of course.
Caleb has good suits.
Caleb is a very well-tailored man.
He is. Mm-hmm. He is. And not all rich people are well-tailored men.
It's true.
Exhibit A, the president.
That's very true.
Worst fucking tailor in the world. These suits got to cost $30,000 or something absurd, and they look like shit. Which is my only complaint with him. That's it. That's
the
all
only
I got.
one?
Yeah, that's it. No other complaints about the just if he wore suits
right
that
now.
fit, everything else would be fine. I am.
You know
joking,
that's
of course.
actually something that politicians do, because if you wear a baggier suit, it's supposed to make you more appealing to the people because they think that you're like not as prim and proper and tailored. So
That's
if you look
interesting.
yeah.
I don't know if that was a conscious choice on his campaign's behalf, though. I think that's just the way he's always dressed.
Well,
he's
that might be, but it's true, because I made that comment about someone else. It was a politician running a while ago to my sister, and she was like, that's actually a wardrobe person's choice.
Well, sure. I mean, for most of these things, like, their thing is, like, everything that they wear and do and say is run through, like, 37 focus groups. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense. I think he's always dressed like an evil 80s business villain, like, his entire life.
And he also is probably not wanting to show people how fat he actually is.
Yeah, well,
probably.
And how bad his posture is. And okay, let's stop talking about President Trump. Fuck that guy. Let's move on to relationship status, right?
Right. Okay, so first up, we have Sandy and Kirsten. Last week they were at a 7 out of 10, and this week, like we've already said, Rebecca is back, and it's confirmed that Sandy does not tell Kirsten about the reappearance of his long-lost fiance, or that he is going to help her and her father.
He has so many chances here.
I know.
He has so many chances.
You're not letting me finish. Kirsten discovers that Rebecca is not only alive, but is hiding out in Sandy's office, and we predict that this will not go well for Sandy, so we're going to bump him down to a 5 out of 10.
I'm really sorry that I didn't follow the script to the letter, because I know how important it is for you to stay right on the script and make no deviations, no changes, no
Everyone
tangents.
knows.
Tangent. That was the word I was thinking about. You're tangent girl.
Okay.
It took all episode for me to remember that. You're tangent girl. Or tangent woman. Would you prefer to be tangent woman?
I want to be tangent lady.
Tangent lady. Okay. Tangent lady. There you are.
Tangent lady.
Tangentially. Elyse.
Yeah.
As I was saying, I think the saddest part about this whole thing is I do think if he had gone to her, he being Sandy, her being his wife, and said, I found out she's still alive. I want to help clear her name still.
She probably wouldn't have wanted him to, but he would have done it anyway, and she would have accepted it eventually.
I think she would have gotten to a place where she would have accepted it. I do. I think obviously in television shows, honesty is always the best policy, because as we've said many times, the only reason people lie in TV shows is for other people to find out about the lies, or else it wouldn't be a plot point, which this episode proves that theory true once again. But I think in real life too, we have a pretty good marriage, I think.
I think we do.
And I basically tell you everything.
What do you not tell me?
I don't know. I don't even know the things that I haven't told you.
You're not hiding anything from me?
No, I'm not hiding anything. I'm not consciously hiding anything from you.
Not consciously?
Are you consciously hiding anything from me?
No.
What did you do last week?
I don't know. You were here all the time.
Where were you?
I did go to work.
Work. You expect me to believe you went to work?
Yeah, I have
in a
2 jobs.
pandemic.
2 jobs.
That sounds fishy. Hey, let's move on to our next couple.
Okay.
Next up on the list. Oh, did you give them a score? I don't remember.
I did.
Okay.
I finished everything like I was supposed to because I'm black and white.
Next up, we have Julie Cooper and Caleb Nichol. Last week, we gave them a 2 out of 10. If I knew how to write something in French, I would. Julie isn't here, but hopefully she gets word of Caleb's heart attack and wants to be there for him. Julie, 2 episodes in a row, Julie Cooper was not on it. I'm really starting to believe that the actress just got booked on something and took time off to work on something else, and so they had to just write her out. Because it seems to me that if you want to do a Caleb Nichol has a heart attack plot, then having his wife around and showing the ways in which that is going to challenge their marriage is a smart way to do that. But so we're going to leave them at 2 out of 10. We can't move them because, look, maybe let's be optimistic and think that Caleb's change of heart is genuine. And
his heart changes.
I actually think that change of heart being genuine is a bad sign for the Julie Cooper-Caleb Nichol relationship, not a good sign. Because if he becomes a decent person, maybe he realizes how shitty of a person she is.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't remember. I mean, there's something else I remember, but we'll just see.
All right. Elyse, talk to me about the next.
Okay, so Zach and Summer last week were at a 6 out of 10. Their relationship this week doesn't develop unless we consider the third partner in the relationship, Seth. This week shows that these 3 are once again forming a relationship triangle. An epic one, but a triangle nonetheless. Therefore, Zach and Summer are going to start deteriorating. And we're going to take them down 1 point to a 5 out of 10.
I feel like you're being very generous with the point distribution for Zach and Summer because you like them. I feel like if I were in charge of the point distribution here, I'd have them at a 4 or a 3 right now.
Definitely not a 3. I could see a 4, but not a 3.
Babe, it's a tailspin, babe. They're going to San Diego. They're going to be alone in the car together.
They're all going together. Yeah. All 3.
Yeah. You don't think Zach's going to be out of the room at any time? Hey, let's all go to the hot tub. Oh, Zach, I'm going to go get a candy bar. Now the 2 of you are alone in the hot tub.
We'll see. We'll see. Tell me about my favorite couple, Scott.
Next up, we have Ryan and Lindsay. Last week, we gave them a 5 out of 10. This relationship is coined the wishy-washy. Is it?
Yes.
Are we coining that right now?
Yes. Wishy-washy.
Ryan and Lindsay have to
take to say it like this. Wishy-washy.
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 Wishy-washy. Wishy. Washy.
It's the wishy-washy.
It's the wishy-washy.
I love wishy-washy.
Ryan and Lindsay have to take a break again because Lindsay decides that she wants to put in work and have a relationship with her father instead of Ryan. Honestly, an understandable decision, but when it's this hard to make a relationship work, then maybe it isn't worth it. It's wise words, Elyse.
I know.
It's wise words.
Sometimes I have them.
Every once in a while. So we bump Lindsay and Ryan down to a 4 out of 10.
I guess I could have done a 3 out of 10 for them.
I would have gone a little lower there too, but
we could have knocked Zach and Summer and Ryan and Lindsay down.
All right.
I definitely knocked Alex and Seth down enough for you, though. Last week, they were at a 3 out of 10. This week, they have a good conversation at the end of the episode where they decide to leave things and call it quits between them. 0 out of 2, 10, done.
0 out of 2.
0 out of 10, I meant. They're done. We can take them off. I've decided.
Okay.
You agree?
I agree with that. Alex and Seth, Dunzo, removed from the list forever. Goodbye.
Yep.
But when one couple falls, a new couple rises from their ashes. And so joining the list for the very first time, well, I think we talked about them last week, but officially joining the list for the very first time, we have Alex and Marissa. Alex might be done with Seth, but she isn't done with the show, and the best way to keep characters around is to put them in a relationship. Marissa and Alex continue to hang out and even share clothes. Marissa feels an electric energy between them and decides she wants to make her move, so she goes to the bait shop and holds Alex's hand. And Elyse...
You didn't tell how many points.
Elyse puts them at a 4 out of 10. And see, again, I would have
Last
gone.
week they were at a 2.
I would have gone higher. I would have gone higher.
Well, you know what? You can take this over if you're not happy with it.
No, I'm allowed to disagree with you, Elyse.
No, you're not.
I'm not going to change it, but I'm allowed to disagree with you. So that is it for the episode. Next week's episode is called The Lonely Hearts Club. I wonder who the focus of this episode is going to be. Let me predict. Ryan, who's newly single. Seth, who's caught in the middle. I think this is going to be the Valentine's Day episode,
Well,
by
yeah.
the way.
It aired on the
Yeah.
3rd. 7 + 3 is 10.
You know who else is going to be in the Lonely Hearts Club?
Who?
Sandy Cohen.
You know who else? Caleb, because his heart.
It's his heart isn't doing too good. But I think it's funny that last year, the Valentine's Day episode last year was Sandy really fucking up because Sandy doesn't care about Valentine's Day, and Kirsten really, really does care about Valentine's Day. This year, Kirsten is not going to want to celebrate Valentine's Day because she's going to be fucking furious at her husband. And
That's
he's going
true.
he's going to be trying to make it up to her, and she's just not going to want to deal with it. And I expect some father-son time with Ryan and Sandy. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you my favorite part of the episode. Right here when we conclude.
Okay, well, what is it?
When Sandy is talking to Rebecca, she says, "So you have what, 2 kids?" And Sandy, without missing a beat, says, "Yep, 2 kids." And I loved that. Ryan has truly become his son to him. It's a really small touch, but a really, really great touch. I loved it.
That's sweet. Okay, Scott?
Yes.
You know what?
What?
That's all we had time for this week.
Okay.
So, if you're listening and you like this podcast, you can check out all the other shows over at doofmedia.com.
No way.
I'm not on any of the other ones, but Scott is. So if you like Scott, you can listen to him. But if you like me, you just got to wait till next week.
Sometimes you're on them.
Sometimes I'm on him.
Whenever
I'm on a thing tonight.
Yeah. You're on our Doof and Chill session, which, speaking of which, if you want to attend our monthly Doof and Chill sessions, which is a bonus live stream we do once a month for our members at the Doof Dancer level and above, that's our $5 level, you can join on Patreon. That's patreon.com/doofmedia. Tonight, actually, right after we finish recording that, in about 2 hours, we are going to be playing a game of Fiasco. It's me, Matt, Michael, and Elyse. It's like a role-playing game.
I'm going to play Tangent Lady.
If you are listening to this right now...
I hope you understand that.
If you're listening to this right now, you missed the recording of that, but it is live. You can go check it out. The link is still alive. You can
Only
go click on
live
it
to those Doof dancers, right?
and
or
above,
does it
yeah.
become live to everyone after it's recorded?
No. Just those people and above.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can check that out at patreon.com/doofmedia. Also, if you happen to be listening via Apple Podcasts, why don't you just head on over there and click those 5 stars and then type Elyse, aka Tangent Lady, is the best.
That would be very sweet. Thank you.
All right. Hey, Elyse.
Yeah.
That was a good episode.
Thank you.
Love you.
I love you too.
We'll see you all next week.
Bye.